when we think about LeBron and Steph, and obviously their careers are running out of time, right? Hopefully they're around for the next. I hope Steph's around for the next 5-6 years. I hope LeBron's around for the next 3 years, even though I do have LeBron fatigue. Well, we mentioned how he may have played his last meaningful game, and I was just thinking about this last night with Lubman. When you think about American-born basketball players, stars, think about the top 3 guys right now that everybody hypes up. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time MVP. Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP on his way to his 3rd. Joel Embiid from Africa. Luka Doncic from Europe, from overseas. Who's the next American-born star? Because LeBron and Steph and Katie have carried the torch for so many years. And then, outside of Ja Morant, because Ja Morant does have potential to be that guy. But who else would you pin as that next American star? Because you look at Victor Wembanyama from Fritz.
I mean, you thought it was going to be Zion. I think if you would have asked me 3 years ago, wouldn't most of us have bet on Zion?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, the explosion, the uniqueness, the TikTok, the kids, they loved him on social media. He did the Sprite commercials. When he plays, he's awesome. He just doesn't play enough. If you had to have asked me that same question 3 years ago, especially after the shoe exploded.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't we have all bet our money on Zion?
In front of Obama, too.
I mean, you want to talk about being wrong? We talk about everyone.
It's just not healthy.
Every single person in the country was like, I'm taking Zion over Ja. Today, that feels dumb.
No, it feels idiotic.
And I would have been one of those people sign me up for Zion.
And what about the people who thought Trae Young would be better off than Luka Doncic?
Trae,
Trae Young, we thought maybe he could be the next Steph or the next guy to carry that torch. When you think about American-born players, LeBron's going to go away, and that's going to hurt the NBA. Stephen Curry's going to walk away, it's going to hurt the NBA.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant one day is going to walk away from the NBA.
Good point.
But who's that next guy?
Well, it's
not Karl-Anthony Towns, is it?
I think no. He's 27. He's too old. That's a great question. Didn't we have these same questions when Jordan stepped away?
We did.
Right?
Jason Tatum will be that guy. Is it Tatum?
Yeah, he plays for a legacy
game
team.
MVP.
A legacy team in the Boston Celtics. That's a really good one, actually.
That's
really
for the 510 Xfinity Bubble text line.
I think it's a very good question.
But to your point about the Jordan, that time frame.
I think that there's also more to this one. So you talk about Joel Embiid. He grew up playing soccer as well, correct? Right? And I know Luka just specialized in basketball, but I do think there is something to this. When you and I kind of talked about yesterday, the AAU stuff with the kids.
Right.
When you play one sport all year round, whether it be baseball, basketball, whatever, I do think that we're putting so much wear and tear on a lot of these kids. There's a reason Cade Cunningham's hurt right now.
And I think the Ball brothers. You think about the way LeVar Ball worked his sons out.
Great point.
Lonzo and LaMelo has played a lot of basketball. And now you look at them young in their career, they're breaking down. Lonzo's out for the year.
Tom Brady played multiple sports all the way through, right? Through high school. Patrick Mahomes played 3 sports all the way through, right? I do believe, now it's not fail-safe, you can get hurt in anything, but I do believe it makes you, a better athlete, and it allows your bones and your body to be able to grow. I think there's hard data. When I look at the NBA, if you look at all these guys, they're playing AAU nonstop.
Way too many games.
At least in America.
Right, I remember somebody, I ran into a doctor, I was telling you this last night, at City College. Ran into a doctor, and it's these kids that are, 20 and 18, they're playing so many games that their 18-year-old bodies, they got 40-year-old bones already.
Yes.
Because of all the wear and tear. You're playing 4 games in a day, then you're playing 4 games the next day, and it's just too much.
Well, it's not just basketball. Girls soccer, there's a huge increase in ACL injuries, right, on the turf and stuff. And then you look at baseball, there's a huge rise in year-round baseball players having Tommy John at 16 years old, right? And so it's not just basketball, but I do believe the specialization has gotten out of control.
No, it has gotten out of control.
And that's a great question on the American, who would be your next American?
LaMelo Ball had a chance, but he has a fractured ankle now.
Wouldn't you agree
he suffered yesterday?
Wouldn't you agree that part of the baseball issue right now is the American-born stars, Mike Trout, for example, they're not charismatic. Right. And then the Latin American stars that
very
are out
charismatic.
There, very charismatic, but a lot of people are like, I have no familiarity with them.
Right.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the reason that we like him so much as an American consumer is because we know who his dad is.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
If we know who his dad is. Shohei Ohtani, we know about him. He's awesome. He's amazing. But I do believe there is a slight hesitation from a lot of American consumers because he's not speaking English and it's not his first language.
And Aaron Judge could be that guy now.
Yes.
And that's why they're pumping him up. He may be that next guy. But the international flavor, there's nothing wrong with it. these sports becoming worldwide entities. Like the NBA and Major League Baseball is it's a great thing. But like the NBA, if you would rate the top 20 stars,
yes,
I bet you at least
half?
12 of them, at least half would come from other places outside of the U.S.
Do you think that Jokic has yet to receive criticism for not winning in the playoffs, in part because he's not American-born?
No. See, I think
because he might win 3 in a row.
Yeah, he might win 3 in a row. But now what you're starting to see when it comes to Jokic is, so you had a few players. They sat down during the All-Star break. It was Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, it was a couple others. I forget who. And they were asked, who's the best player in the NBA? They all said Giannis. They all said Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it was interesting because it was like, okay, Jokic is not the best player, even though he's won back-to-back MVPs. And then you think about the All-Star game, where he was basically picked last. Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, you see, this is how the players feel about Jokic. Jokic's not an all-star guy, which I got some thoughts on that. They should maybe bet the all-star game, U.S. versus international. I bet you it would be a lot better. I bet you the international players will want to kick the U.S.'s ass.
Hadn't considered that.
You get American,
pretty good.
Team U.S.
Pretty good.
Against the international players.
You watch the Redeem Team, right?
Yep.
And when you watch the Redeem Team doc, it's only like an hour and a half. You realize like how like America looks at the game one way, and the rest of the country the rest of the countries are looking at these World Cup games, FIBA games, whatever they're called, very differently, and they wanted to come for the throats of American players, where at the time the American players were like, we already arrived. And then the Pau Gasols and Marcus Gasols, those guys, they were out for blood to prove that they belonged.
Well, the Ryder Cup is huge.
Oh, it's Europe versus
Europe
USA.
versus U.S. And the Europeans want to kick the U.S.'s ass. They think they're smug and everything. Yeah, no doubt. I love it, though.
I know.
Maybe that should be the new All-Star game. The new All-Star game format. You go international versus U.S. I bet you get some more competitive games.
Isn't that what the Futures game is?
The Rising Stars Challenge was that.
Yeah.
Until they started mixing it up with like Team Deron Williams and Team
No,
Pau
I'm
Gasol.
talking about the Futures game for Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it international
I'm not sure.
versus USA?
Well, I know they did it a couple times for the Rising Stars Challenge in the NBA.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Okay,
they did US
I remember
versus
it was
international.
Rooks versus Softs.
Right.
We did that one year. They've kind of gone back and forth.
I kind of want to see U.S. versus
Who is
international.
the next American guy? Is it Booker?
I'm seeing Paulo Banchero.
Paulo Banchero's a good one. We have familiarity with him in college.
Yep, Duke University, but just for 1 year. 1 year.
It's better than a lot of these other ones.
Team Italy, though. So is he really?
Wow. Yeah. That's a problem.
Was Kobe Italian? No, I'm asking.
We claim him.
Okay, you claim him, but is he really Italian?
Well, no, but I think he had citizenship though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you know how many Irish kids I know that got dual
played for
citizenship?
Team USA. All right, so no, he wasn't. Yes.
Scoot Henderson's getting a lot of love. Scoot Henderson from the G League Ignite, American-born player. They say he's like the next Chris Paul or whatnot. I've yet to really watch him play, so I don't know.
I don't
about
even
him.
know who that is. I'm just being honest. I don't even know who that is.
We knew who LeBron was at this point. We knew who Melo was at this point.
I knew who Jalen Green was at this point when he was in the G League because and he was also from the area.
Right.
So I get that. Fresno, right?
Prolific prep in Fresno.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm stumped. I feel legitimately stumped.
But is that an issue for the NBA to not have that? Because it's one thing to have the international star, but Americans, are they locked in on Jokic? Are they wrapping their arms around Giannis Antetokounmpo?
No, because I think a lot of the when I look at the NBA and how it's consumed, when we do a Warrior related video, it gets really good. On YouTube, it gets really good numbers. This is taking people inside, right? When we do baseball stuff on YouTube, it doesn't pop as well, right? Because the YouTube audience is a younger audience. When I go on TikTok, I follow a couple NBA pages. You can watch a guy's entire highlight package on TikTok in like the 30 seconds. And this is getting real young, okay? But I think a lot of kids are watching and consuming the NBA in that fashion. Are you really doing a mashup of Jokic? Or are you doing a bunch of jams from, this guy, that guy, shots from beyond the arc? I don't know. Yeah. I don't see the Jokic mashups.
No, I don't either.
I see a lot of Booker.
And Jokic is a damn good player. He plays the game the right way.
He's amazing.
He's box office. Watching him against the Clippers the other night, I'm like, damn, he does the fadeaway that he has, the rainbow shot,
He's what I envisioned Arvydas Sabonis being when they told me he was going to come over.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And
the complete package.
By the time Arvydas Sabonis came over, he was already in his 30s. But they said that's who Jokic was, or Sabonis was in his prime before he came over to the States. So I don't know. Who is the next American-born hooper? Who's the biggest American star right now in all of America? Is it still LeBron?
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. If you took LeBron to the side, because LeBron's Q ratings, like everyone knows LeBron.
And Steph.
Yeah, and Steph. I would throw them to the side. Right now, I feel like football has all of the other guys. Like most people, even like my mom knows who Patrick Mahomes is.
Joe Burrow.
I don't know about Burrow yet.
Josh Allen.
I don't know about
about that yet?
I know Mahomes for sure.
Okay.
I know Mahomes for sure. I don't know about that. Because, like, think about it. My mom's not tapped in at all.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of, like, she doesn't play fantasy football. My wife knows who Josh Allen and Burrow are.
doubt.
She plays fantasy football. I don't think my mom does. Would your mom be able to point out Burrow and...
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
You know?
Andis Brown, that's a good point. NBA will never have a problem on who's the next star. Dr. J, Kareem, then Magic and Larry came along, then Jordan, then AI, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Steph.
No one's
Trust me,
saying
there
that-
will be another one.
Yeah, no one's
Who
saying
is
that
it?
stars aren't going to be...
They're
like,
going to find somebody.
Luka's already there. We're
It may
saying
be
American
John
born.
Morant. It may be John Morant. Because the kids love it. They love the swagger.
They do love him.
They love the
I'm
gritty.
going to be real with you.
And
I'm
he's
so out on the Morant family.
Well,
I am selling all Morant stock.
T. Morant, sources tell me that he was in Salt Lake City for the All-Star weekend. But when you think about what kids love.
So someone like walked over to you in a dark alley. Hey, Bonte, T. Morant is in Salt Lake City.
No, I was just having a conversation. It was like, oh, the Team Hennessy party, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I know who told you.
No, but that person didn't tell me.
It was another King's messenger that was sent.
Yeah, there you go.
Did it come? No, like in Game of Thrones, did it come on the scroll of a crow's foot?
And then Damon reads it and then beats the guy's ass because he doesn't like what it says.
Team Morant was in Salt Lake City at the Team Hennessy party.
What the hell is this?
I don't
Who's
know.
this
It's a
character?
British
You just-
accent.
First off, you're the king, and someone would be reading it to you.
Yeah, I was trying to read it to me.
Who is that character?
I
you just
don't know.
became?
I thought it was a squire.
What the
or
hell
something.
was that?
I don't know what that
Please
was.
isolate that and replay that. What the hell was that?
Bonte, I'm here to tell you, Team Morant was partying in Salt Lake City.
What? Is this a medieval Bostonian? Like, who is
I
this
don't know.
character?
I don't know who that
What the
is.
hell happened?
I don't know what happened, but Team Morant was in Salt Lake City party. Ja could be that guy if he just cleans it up. But, as Oscar Perez says, he's too worried about the hollow tips and laser beams.
Well, and I look at Ja, and here's why I get worried. I get worried for small athletic leapers because I go into like the Derrick Rose bucket where I start worrying about your long-term health. It's when you're 6 feet tall and you're jumping in the lane against 7-footers, and that's how you make your living. Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
But he reminds me so much of Allen Iverson, but he has a 3. And he's got that leadership role.
No, he's awesome.
He is awesome. And maybe that's the guy if he could clean things up off the court. But certain people like that gangster stuff. That appeals to them.
The kids love him.
Kids love. That's what I'm saying.
When we were going out and like the kids practices and whatnot, I can't tell you how many kids have a Grizzlies Ja Morant jersey, and they have the throwback Grizzly one, the Vancouver Ja Morant jersey.
We need one segment of medieval Bonte per day. 510 Xfinity mobile text line. Bonte Potier. It's bobsled time? I don't know what that was.
So I'm imagining if we were going to paint this picture, I used to do this at night. So like, imagine this one, right? This is what we used to do is you go into a Western town. Remember this one, Spadoni? And Bruce Bochy would be the old grizzled sheriff in this town. Randy Johnson is clearly the barkeeper.
Right, no doubt.
Right? Like
no
he's
doubt.
the guy wiping the glass at the bar when you come walking in.
With the apron on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who's a part of the sheriff's crew? Jeff Kent's got to be a part of it, right?
Oh, yeah, he is with that mustache.
So now let's create the medieval times. Bonte's the king, all right? Where does everyone land? This is where our audience needs to help us. All the characters of this show need to be incorporated somewhere into these medieval times.
So Shasky's the hand, right? You got to be
the
the
hand or the squire?
I think I'm the hand. I'm the
wow.
I think you are the hand.
Okay.
Because I'm the guy behind the scenes doing all the heavy lifting for Bonte. So,
I think I'm the master of whispers. I say the rumors every now and then.
Little finger.
Little finger.
Yeah,
Varys.
Yeah, you do play both sides. Yeah, you work on the other shows. You're giving them intel. Willard or Dibs, Tidy and Goo.
Well, is Dibs and Willard, are they feuding lords from other counties?
Probably, I would say so. With the way Willard comes in here, I'm sure he'll pick apart something that we said today. He watched my head.
They're a rival house. They're a rival house, no
doubt.
They're a rival house, but you respect them still because they're within your domain.
Who's the Ramsey of the station?
Oh, God.
Fillmore Mike?
Ray.
Ray.
The American NBA player B, that's such a great question. I thought Cade Cunningham had an opportunity to be that. His style of play is so fun.
It is fun. Jabari Smith Jr., I haven't seen enough with the Houston Rockets yet. Doesn't really resonate. I was thinking Paulo, but Paulo Banchero grew up in Seattle. And, I know a lot of people have adopted the Orlando Magic. I was actually texting with Worldwide Hef yesterday. Paulo was the best player on the floor down in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. I mean, he was like how I draw Smoothie King Center.
You had to.
I had to.
That was his 30th 20-point game. Hasn't been done by my Magic rookie since
Penny.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep. Dude, he is.
Old pictures of Shaq, by the way. I cannot believe he was so skinny.
Oh,
it's
dude,
so
he
wild.
was
so
incredible.
good.
He was incredible. There's a bunch of Shaq documentaries out right now, but Paulo is just so. Dude,
One of
I
my
want him in
favorite
a Warrior
plays of all
uniform.
time from Shaq back when he was young in his early years was when the ball was on the ground. He's sliding against the Warriors.
Against the Warriors.
And he's
Tom
like,
Tolbert. He's like this. It was on the NBA on NBC montage playing in. Da-da-da-da-da-da, and then Shaq does this.
He was my brother's favorite player of all time.
Shaq?
Oh, dude.
Shaq's great.
The baby blue striped jersey he had. He literally wore it every day.
Shaq is one of the most lovable characters in American sports history.
Hands down.
And he's still a star.
Yes.
Like, think about Shaq.
How
many guys are like
recognizable too?
recognizable?
Like, you just
Yeah,
can't miss him.
Like, you got Jordan, you got Shaq, you got Steph. People forget how big of a star Shaq was.
Well, he was.
But they forget how much of a great player he was too.
He had
the way he evolved.
multiple rap albums,
Went
multiple
platinum.
movies. There's a new Shazam. Wasn't he in Shazam?
Kazam.
Oh, he was Kazam.
Kazam.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Kazam was sick. Back in the day, you didn't watch Kazam?
Well, his best role was Blue Chips.
Neon Bedeau.
Come on, dog.
Neon Bedeau.
When he's dunking on like a basket, like
Dunking
a
on the
literal
kids.
basket, like a
He's-
woven basket.
And he's getting paid to do the homework.
Yes.
And his wife, Nick Nolte's wife, was like, dude, you're smarter than that. He's like, I forgot the line, but he was basically hustling her. But no, Kazam, will you never see Kazam? Oh my gosh, it's a classic.
No.
A classic.
Well, because I saw the new Shazam coming out, and I didn't. I'm not familiar with that character.
Dude, you gotta watch Hardball, you gotta watch Kazam. Spinoni, you've watched
Yeah,
Kazam.
Kazam is not part of the DC universe, Chasky, if that's what you're wondering. He's not part of,
Is Anthony Edwards an example? Someone texted that one in. Especially the way he won me over with what he said at the All-Star game.
You know what?
I really like watching him play.
You know what?
And we love wing play.
That is a really good one. That is a good one. Anthony Edwards could be the guy. The next great American star, because what he said, as you said, he won you over. He won everybody over, even including the OGs, where he said, even if you're 80%, you need to play.
Yeah.
I want to play. Forget that load management. I got pride. And he mentioned the fans. That may be that fans' only game of the season because tickets are expensive. Party at 2, party at 4, it's expensive. You may be able to go to one game a year, and you want to go see your star. That's why I felt bad for Biddy on Sunday. He's got a Stephen Curry jersey on, and there's no Steph.
Well, I find it interesting that I feel like the big players, Shaq is an outlier, right? Because of his personality. We don't necessarily love the Giants. We love the high flyers. We love the wing players. Like, Kareem never really got the love he deserved. Even Wilt really
because he wasn't charismatic. Wilt was a little more charismatic.
Yeah, but even then, I just feel like we almost discredit the size. Right? And then, like, I look at some of the other big contemporaries. Hakeem Olajuwon, does he really get his love?
No, he doesn't. He's underrated.
David Robinson, does he really get his love?
Tim Duncan. Underrated.
Right? The guys who we almost over-elevate are those perimeter players who are either high flyers or really undersized.
And that's the problem with Jokic, because his personality doesn't say much.
Embiid, too.
But Embiid used to say a lot more, and he is charismatic. He's kind of tempered it down a little bit ever since he had his kid. He's kind of slowed down everything. That's what makes Anthony Edwards appealing, though. And I'm glad 559 on the Infinity Bubble text line brought that up, because he is charismatic. The Popeyes jokes, eating 3 bags of hot Cheetos every single day, or the hot fries that he eats. Him talking about, man, I can't do all that running. I don't know how Steph does it. I was just standing in the corner. I'm tired. Now he's got to work a little harder, but you got to have some charisma to your game. Embiid had that. Patrick Ewing, Barkley's considered a big. He was charismatic.
Yeah, Barkley's 6'4".
Yeah, he was 6'4".
Who are you kidding?
Dennis Rodman, the big.
No, but Dennis was so weird.
Yeah.
He was so weird. And I don't think in real time, Dennis was not beloved. Like, let's just, I think we're misremembering. Dennis was a weirdo. Like, I remember liking Dennis Rodman was the outlier opinion at the time.
No, it was. I mean, I kind of like Dennis Rodman, too. Remember the Sports Illustrated cover story?
Dude, when he married himself?
Yeah.
That Last Dance doc was wild. Since I was like only 3 years old when all that stuff was happening.
Bleaching your hair?
He was going to Vegas during the season, like after games, and just like, whatever.
Dude, he was
with
riding
Carmen Electra too.
Carmen Electra.
He was the first guy I remember riding the stationary bike in San Antonio when he was like ostracized.
Yep. And then he would be like courtside laying down with his shoes off.
Yes, and people thought he was just a weirdo.
Yeah, they were like, how does he have his shoes off? And John Lucas was coaching the Spurs, and they were like, we got to get this dude out of here. We have to get. And he was traded for Will Purdue. It's an all-time steal.
Phil Jackson.
All-time steal.
Phil Jackson deserves to be a Hall of Famer just for how he handled Dennis Rodman with that team.
And telling Steve Kerr, Joe Bushler, hey, do a solid. Hang out with him at a concert. And Kerr and him come back like, oh, my God. And Rodman's like, what's up? We going to bed?
And then he shows up at practice and outruns everyone.
Outruns everybody.
That's just
He was a baller. Like when he was talking about the rebounding and the ankles and stuff like that, Rodman was a smart-ass basketball player. It all gets lost in the shuffle. So
I'm getting a lot of text messages from my personal cell about this tapestry of medieval times. Some of them are not for air. That's what I'm just going to say.
I'm here to tell you, T. Morant was partying in Salt Lake City. That's terrible. That's so bad.
Matt Hegan, the program director, is the head of the church because the church and the king constantly are feuding. And the church is trying to give you... Yeah, the church is trying to give you lots and lots of recommendations on how to, lord over your kingdom.
It's good.
You like that?
I do like that.
You like that, don't you?
I kind of like it.
I'm also imagining him in one of those hats.
This thing's got to stop, though, because a couple people at Chase Center was like, hey, King, what's up, King? I'm like, dude, stop. And number one, I did not give myself that nickname. You guys did.
Yeah.
The roasters. People were saying, oh,
the streets. Come on, that's who it was. It was the streets.
Streets.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't say that.
Folk.
The streets were saying it.
Does the king ever walk through town square?
Oh, he can't do that. Well, it has to be
His
in a carriage.
feet can't touch that ground.
No. Gotta have a body double.
Oh, man. The streets.
A body double.
Madeline Kinney coming up in 10 minutes to talk Warriors and Blazers. Dame Dollar 71 points the other night against the Houston Rockets. Everybody been lighting up the Rockets. Steven Silas was like, he took Şengün off the floor. He goes, they were attacking him on the pick and roll every single
Can I ask you a question about Steven Silas? And I mean this sincerely.
He's not a head coach, I know.
But why does everyone do this thing? He's such a great... We know he's a great guy. Yeah. We know he's a great guy. We know he's a great guy. I get it. They're not a good team. He's the sacrificial lamb. Like in the NFL, we identify this all
the time.
Yet in the NBA, we always feel like we have to pamper up these guys. Like, Silas knows what he signed up for.
He knows what he signed up for, and he knows he's probably going to be an assistant somewhere next season.
But why do we do that?
And he's just somebody asked him, "Why'd you pull Şengün?" He goes, "Well, he's getting attacked in every single pick and roll, every single time." And Dave was just pulling up on him. And you look at the list of guys who've lit up the Rockets.
It's like Bickerstaff's kid. We did the same thing.
Oh yeah, JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah.
But now you know what? He's doing a great job in Cleveland. He's doing a phenomenal job in Cleveland.
Great, but when you're doing a phenomenal job, it means something.
It means
Don't
something.
tell me he's doing a phenomenal job with the Rockets, even though they suck.
No, he's
when they
not.
have 13 wins.
You know what made us feel bad for him is when they lost like 23 straight or something like that, and he was crying up there. They had got close to a win and they blew it, and he just broke down. And I feel bad for him because James Harden quit out of that organization.
Well, yes.
John Wall did nothing for them. Aaron Gordon played. I mean, he was just like, dude, get me out of here. I mean, I feel bad for Steven Silas. I do.
He's been there long enough. I'm not trying to rip him. I'm just saying, like, I get it. He's a great dude. I understand that. They suck.
They do stink.
I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Wes Unseld Jr., he's coaching the Wizards.
Wes Unseld Jr.
He's got the family ties, the family business to watch the Wizards.
Seriously. I mean, come on.
God, long live the NBA.